Edition LLC with the Imperial Gunmetal Crystal Edge technology screen. So, we want to talk about the batch number guarantee. This is something I feel that all screen paints, and I know we're going to get people that feel they're being singled out. But if you feel that you're being singled out, then that means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing with your products. We feel that they should have a batch number guarantee. A batch number guarantee means the product was tested before it was shipped out. It's a guarantee to the customer. Now, keep in mind, only way you're going to pass a batch number guarantee test is you're going to have to show that your product is tested before you even sold it to begin with. Can't pass one of these tests. Say if when the batch number, one of the requirements in a batch number test guarantee is you're going to have to show different forms of your color. You're going to be the full color. You're going to be doing this on 1,000 projector, low lumen, and high lumen. You're going to do this with colors. You're going to do this with contrast and white levels that you've seen in our demonstrations. And worst upon worst, and a lot of people are not going to pass this one, you're going to have to show the difference between your product and gray paints. We have to show a difference in black paints because we develop black technology over here. So this is part of the batch number guarantee. Now, if you can't pass this demonstration, I said before, it clearly shows that your products are not tested. This is a live demonstration you have to do live. So if you've done a live demonstration on gray versus gray and you failed the test to begin with, you can't do batch numbers. It's not going to work. But it's a guarantee to the customer that the product is going to work. There's also to protect you in court. Because again, if you're making this stuff 5 gallons at a time, which we advise people be doing screen paints, do it in large quantities, 5 gallons at a time. The reason why is because if you do it 1 at a time, it makes it easier for a person who's going to do your company wrong by having them say that, well, hey, only mine came out that way because he made mine by himself. Yeah, see, that can get you in trouble. That's why you have to make it in large quantities. We do it at 5, we do it at 10 gallons at a time because, again, that means you came out of a vat along with everybody else. And if yours was bad, that means everybody else's would have been bad also, too. That also helps you out in court against people that are going to try to do you wrong to begin with. And again, batch number guarantee, testing the product, showing that the product works perfectly fine before it was shipped out the door. Also, too, you have tests showing that the product was tested before it was shipped out. We're going to be putting this section, this policy, on our website under the batch number guarantee for our products. So the batch number pretty much is going to be made up of, mostly ours is numbers, all numbers and letters, or letters and numbers. It basically states in the container, here. And I'm going to start bringing my batch numbers, making them a little bit shorter because my batch numbers, the last time we tore the cardboard box up, that was a long demonstration right there. So we got to keep them short and sweet. Do the task and be done with it. So this right here, this is what you need to look for in your containers. Now we're going to make these a little bit more professional. I'm going to be doing some customized ones, but more professional than this was for the time being. This is what you should have on your container. It shows your batch number and this shows the date that the video test was done. That means the customer can always go back to that video, pull it up, go to the YouTube channel, punch in them numbers, and that test should pop up. And it will show your product being tested before it was shipped out. Number 1, it guarantees the customer the product is working perfectly. Number 2, it protects the merchant at the end of the day from people that are going to try to basically try to scam or try to get over on the merchant, and protects you in court. And again, this stuff needs to be made at 5 gallons at a time. I wouldn't do, roughly I wouldn't do a gallon at a time. It's too easy. I would do roughly 5 gallons at least. At least the minimum I would do is 5 gallons. And the reason why, like I said, because again, that's like somebody saying, hey, look, I've got grape Kool-Aid from this guy, but mine came out cherry. That's virtually impossible. It's not going to happen nowhere on the planet. Everybody's got cherry out of that vat. They're all going to get cherry. Not one person is going to get grape. That's why you make it in large quantities at 5 gallons at a time. So I'm teaching people some stuff at the end of the day, but for some people, this is good information for them if they want to get into this field. For other people, this is extremely scary for them because, again, they can't do a batch number because their product was never tested. Imagine you selling a product, you've been selling it for years, and it's never, ever been tested. That means it can't pass a batch number test. So that means they'll have to pull the product completely off the shelves, start all over again, do the videos all over again, do proper testing on the product, so that way they can pass a batch number. That's our guarantee to our customers. Anytime our customers contact me and say, what's the guarantee that our product's going to work? You see that little number that's sitting on your container? That's a batch number test. That means your product is tested before we ship it out. If I have to get a customer at the end of the day that does not want to play nice and they want to be that type of person at the end of the day, we can take them to court. They can take us to court. Doesn't make a difference. We can back the product because we have a batch number sitting on top of it. That's why when I tell people at the end of the day, we win the PayPal complaints because we got a fellow who came in perfect example. The fellow who came in, we call him Mr. Lee, to leave it at that, who came in and basically we sent to him a detailed email. Hey, look, if it's not to you like it, if you feel there's something wrong with it, send it back. We also tell you to send it back too. We do live exchanges so we can see exactly. And again, we even gone as far as bought someone's projector and did it online. So we have them bring it back. Now, if they basically fight and say, no, they make all excuses, we know they did something to it. That's why they can't send it back, because they mess with it. So that's the first thing that also pops up. One thing, the things we do ask for you to send it back. It's just right down the site that we do an exchange policy. It says that we will request for you to send the product back. Keep in mind the product will be tested on YouTube live. So that way there's no doctoring this and doctoring this. Everything's out in the open. Everybody can see it. One of the things we do describe, it does have a batch number sitting on top of it. So that means that the customer can go in, they can punch up their video, and they can see their product being tested. They can also punch up and go back and see where the product was tested before it was even sold to them. Before you even could get your hands on it, everything we design has to go through testing. So that also backs us in court also too. And then again, you came out of a 5-gallon container. So like I said, it basically allows us to win our PayPal disputes very easily due to the fact that our products are guaranteed. If your product doesn't have any of these procedures on it, well, guess what? Customer can come in, and it's going to be a bad customer, and you will get them. They can come in, and they can file a have not as described. How would you back this? They can say, well, look, the product I got here is just everyday black paint, everyday gray paint. It's not what I ordered. I got ripped off. I got committed fraud against me. He scammed me. How do you get around that? How do you fight your case? You can't fight your case. You have no test demonstration, so that's gone. You can't do a batch number because you don't have test demonstration, so that's gone. You have no guarantee, nothing at all, that whatever's being shipped to you could be 100% house paint and you're paying too much money for it. Now, as I told you before, we have to use this person as an example. We don't have to mention their name, but we know who they are. Person did one of these tests, and he actually matched twice. On 2 different occasions, he matched twice on house paint. And yes, the videos were removed off the account. They were recorded, being removed off the account, trying to hide evidence. These videos were never posted to the site. They were never talked about again. And even when we had open hot mics, when the individual came in, he wanted to just complete madness of rants because he was upset by the videos. So that right there is a huge red flag why you don't go near a product that doesn't have one of these numbers attached to it. Perfect example, the individual could be selling you just everyday house paint. How would you not know this? How could you fight this in court? Well, actually, you could win this in court. He won't win it in court. So how in the world can you basically guarantee that the product that was shipped to you is not something off Home Depot, Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, Lowe's? How would you even know this? There's no test. So you don't know what you're buying. So that's why a batch number guarantee is needed in order to be able to sell screen paint products. And this is one of the rules and regulations that I'm trying to push to make sure that before any company like eBay or Amazon or any place, even Wix, any place will sell your stuff, you have to show that your product is tested before you can actually push it. And that's good. Now, for those people that are upset and angry by this decision and what I'm saying at the end of the day, then that shows at the end of the day that you weren't doing what you're supposed to be doing and you've been scamming your customers. And I'm talking about anybody. And those people who are looking at this like, this is a really good idea. This should happen. Why not? Then you're not scamming people at the end of the day and you are making good products. This separates the good from the bad. That's why a batch number should be required. If you don't see a batch number on it, you don't buy it. Same thing for big companies too, like Blue Screen, Paint On Screens, all those big companies, you should have these batch numbers attached to your containers because again, how do I know I can't match your stuff to some everyday household paint and save me some money? You have to show all these tests. Products should be tested. Why not? If you're going to tell me a product can be used outside, I need to know exactly how much contrast can I pull from that screen? How much money do I have to spend on a projector to pull a certain amount of contrast? What kind of environments I'm going to be sitting? I'm going to be kind of be in a fully lit environment. I'm going to be in a dark environment. Keep in mind, when they do promo demonstrations on projection screens, you have to remember those are rehearsed environments, which means that entire environment was set up to accommodate that screen. It's the reason why no one can match the promo demonstrations. When we look for them, we beat promo demonstrations, but they can't match them. Because that entire demonstration there, I guarantee they're not using a white screen in that setup. They're probably using a very high-end, expensive screen for the whole entire setup in there. And it's probably a screen that chances are most people can't even afford. So that screen's going to do something that your average white and gray screen paint is not going to be able to perform and do. So keep in mind, if just for example, real quick, if a company was advertising an Epson P1 or P2 projector, and they were using a $5,000 gunmetal screen in there, there is no way in the world you're going to compete with that. With a gray or white screen, would never compete with that technology at all, period. And then if they do it in an environment that has a little bit more light than you were saying, look, it's an ambient light projection technology. The projector's calibrated to produce better colors. They have more light, ambient light controlled in the environment to give off the illusion that the area is well lit when it's not well lit. And you're going to have a big surprise when you get home, because you're going to hook it up and find out it doesn't look like anything that it did in the showroom, because you have the projector maybe, but you don't have the screen. And some people it's vice versa. Some of y'all have the screen and don't have the projector. And then some people have both, which they're actually matching the promo. So that's the reason why no one's screens actually look exactly like the promo. I actually did a demonstration on that, looking at promo demonstrations and then looking around and seeing how many people could match the promo. And yeah, it was none at all. Not even on the P2. No one matched the promo P2 demonstration at all. Because it couldn't. Because that screen was done differently. That screen was actually digitally into the wall. He digitized it into the wall. The reason why I realized that is when they did the 3D display and you saw the explosions, there's no 3D on the face of the planet that's going to pop off the side of your screen and hit the wall. That's digitized, and they shouldn't be able to do that because that's false advertisement. 2. Yeah, so from the door, batch number demonstrations should be a requirement. Now, we know there are people going to be upset about this. I'm giving you fair warning. You're in an open case. And first thing you need to do is take a deep breath and keep your personal feelings to yourself, because you're being watched. So you know that. All right? But for the rest of y'all, consider the fact that you need to have yourself tested. This is not only going to protect you, but also, too, it ensures the customer that they're getting a product that functions. It's important. You have a guarantee for everything you have in your house. How come your screen paint doesn't have one? Now, I got to work on doing shorter batch numbers. I got batch numbers coming up again. We got orders coming up this week, so I got to go in. I got to do batch numbers for that. So I got to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to bring out because I can't do the walls. I can't anything to the walls because we got the insulation on the walls. But I do got my scaffold unit that I did bring here. I'm going to set that up. I'm going to coat that and hang that up, and we can do the demonstrations up there because I literally forgot that thing was here. It's actually piled in the corner over there. Yeah, so we're going to do that right there. We're going to set it up, and we can paint our screens in there. I can actually build and design my own screens, snap it in, hook it up with the projector, and, get it in, as we usually do. And we're going to be doing our batch numbers a little bit different, a little bit more professional. So I got these hologram imprints we're going to have for the containers. Gee whiz, I forgot to get the containers. I got to order the containers. I literally forgot to get containers. We got to get containers for the new paints. Literally forgot to do that. I got to go online. I got to order stuff. Get that taken care of. But yeah, that's our guarantee. It's our batch number. So when people say, hey, what's your guarantee? It's a batch number guarantee. And then we make all our stuff into 5-gallon containers, which means at the end of the day, all your stuff with everybody else is made in that container, all at the same time. I got a mixing machine coming in for the new place. Over there, we ordered a mixing machine, much bigger than the one I had before. So yeah, and then my people over at the zone area, thank you so much. I'm not going to tell you the guy's name because, I won't tell you the guy's name. Because if we say, I'm gonna ask him first. I'm gonna ask him first if he's okay with it first. If he's okay with it, I'll mention the guy. But he's a cool dude. Got his card in the back. He said any project you need help with, let him know. Oh man, they're so nice down there. But anyway, we're gonna get when we do the setup over there, I got a mixing machine coming. It's all portable, so everything we got comes in and out. So we're gonna bring that when we make our products. It actually makes 5 gallons and 10 gallons, which we're definitely gonna need now, because if we put those 250s up, yeah. It is definitely going to bring us a ton of business. A ton of business. Why didn't I do this before? Like literally. Could have literally set up these giant screens. I don't know why. If the weather's good today, I got a research walk to do. So there's a music center around here somewhere, they said. I got to figure out where it's at. And they do all kinds of shows and plays and stuff. This would be a fantastic screen to set up for moving background. So what they want to do is they do scenery. They move the scenery in and out. This technology will allow them to be able to keep the scenery there and change it up by will by the projector. So we have to put a special screen there for that. But we're gonna hook it up. They're donated. We're donating them for free. There's 4 we're gonna donate throughout the city of Allentown. Oh, and I got to call the other company about the window technology, which we got to get one of those done. All right, real quick, we updated. We got new screens coming out. Actually, I decided to bring out 2 more besides the Sugar Plum and Leviathan. There's a one called Thunder Shamrock that's coming out. It's going to be designed, because I don't want to make a bunch of screens on the site, so we're going to piece them together. So we have one section where we have the virtual world where you can go in and check out the unicorn, the Sugar Plum Fairy, and then underneath of that, we're going to have a transition to the other screen, which is going to be Scarlet Samurai. We were going to design these before under the exotic technology, but we never got around to it. It became too much work, and we actually canceled the site. Now we're going to bring it back, and we're going to convert them into gaming technology. So we're going to have the Scarlet Samurai and the Thunder Shamrock, which is going to be pretty soon. So you can be to see that technology. We'll be showing them off. Oh yeah. Oh, we advertising. It's like crazy. Wait till you see the gaming setup. Matter of fact, I have coming in pretty soon. I ordered the clouds, the cotton, some LED lights, and I'm actually building a small makeshift kind of stand for it so I can get a chance to test this out, because I want to do mine completely different. I want like lightning strobes on one side, go for like a heavy lightning effect, and I want that slow buildup. I'm trying to figure out how they did the slow buildup, so I'm doing that with LED lights. Man, I don't have a ball with that, so I'm building a scaffold behind me for that. And there it is, folks. Coming soon. Thunder Shamrock. So these screens are going to be really interesting when we get done with them. So we're going to do 106-inch wallpaper. I tried crunching numbers like how, okay, if we do it at a screen size of that caliber, it is going to be a complete freaking headache. Because again, trying to get a projector to fit that close to the screen, and it has to be short though, it has to be pico, that basically makes it really hard for us to be able to get, even for the customer, to find a projector to fit that thing. So we had to do it at a larger scale. It's just much easier, much easier. An ultra short that would fit a 100-inch better than it's going to fit a screen that's 40 inches. So that's what we're going to do. So we keep them at wallpaper, which is much easier. It's an easy screen to transport from A to B. We may make a black, no, we're not going to make a blackout cloth for that, because we got an acoustic coming out for the black cloth. Cinema. We got a screen coming out under the Alpha Cinema, which is an acoustic blackout cloth. And I'm getting one in here. So we'd do that another time, but right now for the gaming setup, we definitely are going to do that at 106 wallpaper. I think 106 wallpaper is a decent size for a gaming screen. It's a good size, not too big, not too small. On top, it's completely portable. It means they can take it off the wall. They can take it to a friend's house. If he's got a projector, snap it up on the wall and be done. It's completely portable. It comes with a tube with a carrying case. That's how the FLEs are. The FLE TV projections are like that. So that's what we're going to do. So these are going to be pretty cool. So we got another one we're doing. We're going to do another one called Scarlet Samurai. It's going to be 4 of these units. That's what we're going to do. So we've got Leviathan, we've got Sugar Plum, and then we're going to have, this is the Thunder Shamrock, Extreme Thunder Shamrock, and the other one. The Thunder Shamrock is actually a green screen. That screen is physically green. It's beautiful. It is going to be gorgeous when we get done with that thing. And then on top of that, for the Crystal Edge site over there, we're going to have the Imperial gunmetal. Is going to be a beast. I think that's one of the technologies I'm going to have the most fun with, Because even though the black technology we have fun with, but we don't have much of a challenge when it comes to black technology. Like, who are we really going to challenge the black screen, honestly? The other stuff is a joke. We're not going near that stuff with a 10-foot pole. It doesn't even have batch numbers on it. So we're not touching that stuff. It's a waste of my time. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a batch number on your stuff, you are considered to be a waste of our time. Because again, anything we throw you against on our end that we're used to testing, and you haven't done the test yet, there's a 100% chance you could fail one of the tests. So what's the point? It's a waste of my time buying your stuff. But the black screens, again, are going to dominate in contrast, going to dominate in color, and our screens generate tremendously high white levels where they're not going to have issues. They're tested against white screens for the white levels test demonstrations at 1,000 lumens. And we do these inside and outside. So bringing a gray screen or gunmetal screen against our technology, yeah, that's cakewalk for this tech. So it's not really a challenge for us. We sweep that easily. But the gunmetal is more of a challenge for me because, again, there's a lot of gunmetal screens out there. It's endless. So I can have a ball with that thing at the end of the day. I get a challenge out of that. So that Imperial, yeah, I'm not going to say much to some companies out there, but you can't touch it. I'm going to just put it that way. When we get done designing this stuff, your gunmetal won't touch it at all, period. Just want to put that out there. Just give you a little message out there real quick. So that's how amazing the Imperial is going to be. Mind you, all our gunmetal screens have to go against certified gunmetal screens. Every single one of them have been tested. So the new one is coming out. Just a little message to you guys out there, and a sample sheet behind me right now. I'm not going to mention the company's name, but you won't be able to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So everything we're designing right now for 2024 is designed to be more superior. Even the new technology we have under the FLE TV technology is designed to compete with the TV. That's why it's called TV projection screen, because it's literally designed to go against a TV. This is why I got people at the end of the day talking, what about, no. Projection screens do not function near this thing at the end of the day. This is why we bought in one of the most highest sample sheets that we could possibly think of. This is one of the best companies, I think, so far in gunmetal technology, and we put it next to that technology to show you at 60% that it can't compete with that technology. So all gunmetal technology is useless against an FLE TV projection screen. The only thing we can literally put that thing next to give it some kind of competition is a physical TV. That's how powerful that thing is. And at 60%, it can match a TV at 720p at its lowest settings on the projector. We're talking under factory settings, which you saw in the demonstration, versus a TV that's 1080p. And that thing's 60% only right now. So that's what we're working toward. Better technology. Flood the market with better technology, more affordable technology. All right, so let's get back to the batch number. So all these products we develop here, everything we design, they all have tests. This is why if you look at our YouTube channel count of videos, we got 10,000 video demonstrations and counting. I think we're going to probably hit maybe because we got tons of tests to do. By the time we hit probably summer, we may be somewhere in the 15,000 range, somewhere a little higher than that, because we got all these screens literally have to go through tons of testing. Because there is no way in the world, on God's green earth, I'm going to sit there and get caught on YouTube with my pants down, something matches house paint or doesn't work correctly. I'm not going through that crap. So everything we have is tested. Everything has batch numbers attached to it. And this is something you should be requesting. The only people that are going to get upset by what I'm saying about this batch number is going to be people that are not doing their jobs correctly. You're the only ones. Customers are not going to have a problem with this. Why would a customer have a problem about a product being tested? Why? They would say like, hey man, I want to get ripped off. I want to get cheated. This has a batch number and I don't want this. Who in the right mind says that? You have to be nuts. You're going to want to have it tested. So that's what I feel at the end of the day, and I don't care if people get upset and angry about it. Well, it is what it is. Your product needs to be tested, and before you sell a product, it should be tested, especially for you, the seller, who are basically selling the product. I would think you want to make sure it works. So we're going to push that. That's a campaign we're going to push. Batch number guarantee, to make sure that the products are tested before they're shipped out. And I get it from customers all the time. How do I know the product is going to work? How do I know the product's not going to match black paint? Well, this is why they got to have these right here. At the bottom, this is called a black versus black test. We started it. This is where you have to put your product against black paint, black fabric. Mind you, gentlemen, at the end of the day, consider the fact we only mentioned black paint. We haven't mentioned the rest of the stuff you have to pass on one of these tests. So there's multiple layers of fabrics you have to go through, which we have tons of demonstrations on that. I've tested everything from clothing to black to tape, you name it. We've done it. We've done it to the screen. I even one of these demonstrations, I cut the top of here it is right here. I cut the top of a case that was for a projector. We had an Optima portable projector, and it had this really shiny black surface on it. I wonder what this would look like next to our screen. We even done Tupperware, black Tupperware, plastic, film, you name it. You're going to have to do all those tests. See that screen right there in the middle, right there? That's the top of a case for a projector case. And when I mean you're going to have to show a difference between night and day, this is what you're going to have to come up. Your screen literally, for us, for black technology, we have to produce a white level literally that high. And you have to do this in a fully lit environment. No dark corners, none of that nonsense. Fully lit environment. Yeah, you got to do these tests. At one point, we were doing so many tests. They're trying to figure out ways how to get out of testing. And they were trying to say, oh, it's tests are fake. Okay, that's why we started to match or better. If the tests are fake, then match or better the demonstration live. Nobody can do it. So that cuts down on that nonsense at the end of the day. They'll make excuses. Instead of getting upset and angry and lash it out at me, how about you do the test? How about you do it in a way where you want to back up something at the end of the day? Instead of crying and whining about it, how about you buckle down, do the test demonstrations, prove that your product works, and then shut me up? That's what you do. If I have a company that's going to sit there at the end of the day and say, hey, we got the highest contract, so we're blah, blah, blah. Or if they're telling me at the end of the day, I don't have it, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to go out and order your surface or screen or whatever. I'm going to bring you back over here, and then we're going to do the test. That's what we're going to do. I don't have time to be sending some company 80, 90 emails and making puppet characters and all that dumb nonsense. That's childish. That's how you get sued at the end of the day and get thrown in jail. No. How you handle professional business is you basically go out and say, okay, they're making these false accusations. Let me go buy their product. Let me bring it over here for testing, which we did when we had cancellations that came through. One was for 19 cancellations, and the other one was 7 cancellations. So if you're going to talk trash about someone's product, I'm going to go buy your stuff, and I'm going to bring it over here, and I'll watch you cancel out and put money back on my account, which we actually watched 2 people do, which means everything you said is a lie. If it goes farther than that, then we'll request black paint. They don't do that either, because they can't send anything over because they know our products are tested. So that's what I do. I don't have time for 80, 90,000 emails and puppets and all that stuff like that. No, I go and test your stuff. That's what I do. And it's the reason why if they can't pass one of these tests, then again, and they don't have batch numbers, then you stay away from the product because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Like I said, the person who did the demonstration, you see this demonstration, the black versus black? He did a gray versus gray. He failed miserably in the gray versus gray. He matched. That's not a match on a black versus black, as you can see. We got a sheet of fabric. We have Dynasty black paint. This is called Black Magic. Not a big fan of the name, but it's from Lowe's. And this in the middle is a case from a projector top case. So if I can get on camera and I can do dozens of these for fun, and they can't do one, that's a huge, massive red flag that you are just getting everyday house paint. That's what you're getting. If you contact them and say, how do I know I'm not getting great paint at the end of the day, as Mr. Bird said? And they'll sit there and how can I say it to you? Oh, it's not. Oh, I need more than what it's not. Can you show me a demonstration? If they can't do demonstrations on a daily basis of doing these tests, then you already got your answer already. And a batch number pushes it even harder for them to have to say, hey, look, now we're going to have that batch number. This is what ticks them off about us, so I don't like us at the end of the day. Because they're probably sitting there like, oh, gee whiz, come on, man. Now we got to have batch numbers too. You don't get to ride the gravy train. You got to work like the rest of everybody else. You don't get to sit there and watch everybody work and then try to make nickels and dimes and quarters and whatever you're doing at the end of the day. You got to work for it if you want it. That's how it works in business. You got to back up and prove your product. You don't get to sit on camera and make up fake accusations about your products working with some crazy range gain nonsense and whatever nonsense you guys write in your specification sheets that are not real. You have to back it up. And this is the reason why I come out here with these rules and regulations, because it should be done. We do it all the time. What's the problem? So if they're upset and angry by this, that tells you right there something's wrong with their product. You should be able to do this. You'd have dozens of these on your website. If you don't have dozens of these demonstrations on your website, something is wrong there. Customer needs to know what he or she is buying. See that? Now we changed it up. Not only do we have now the black paint up there, but we got white surfaces up there at the same time. We do all this stuff in the middle of demonstrations, just like that, to show that anytime in the middle of a demonstration, nothing is rehearsed. We can grab anything we want, throw it against the screen. We can say something like, okay, this is going to be a black on black demonstration. This is house paint. And in the demonstration, you're seeing me throw micro mesh, which we did that already too, and throw that against the screen. Or bed sheets, which had nothing to do with the demonstration, but we do it because we can, not because we don't do it because we're afraid of the outcome, because we don't know what's going to happen due to the fact that the screen's not properly tested. This is what you guys go through. You can't do that demonstration because what if it doesn't match? What happens? You don't know your own product. So if you're afraid to do that demonstration, something's wrong there. Now you see in this demonstration, it's showing perfect color balance, which means the white surface can't pick up the color and the black can't pick it up either. Only our technology can read it, and it's black, which means it picks up both white levels and contrast at the same time. A high enough contrast where the colors come up dark and rich, a high enough white levels where they don't come up so dark you can't see them. There you go. You have to do stuff like that. It's a very, very important test. It has to be done. Because you could end up making a black paint and your white levels could come up too low and you could come up dark and dirty. That's going to be a problem. You can make a gray paint and your contrast might not be high enough and your screen will wash out and fade. And this demonstration has to be done on ultra short throw. It has to be done at 1,000 lumens, low entry level projector, like a 1,000 lumen projector. You have to do this demonstration on high power projectors. This is why I said you don't have enough projectors for testing. Nearly 70 projectors and more and counting. Right now this summer, because I got this thing for these Pico projectors now, I got to have 60 Pico projectors in my collection, 60 units. And all these units are going to cost me a lot of money? No, because our technology doesn't require expensive projectors. But expensive projectors are required when you have a screen that can't put out. That's why you need it. Poor resolution, gray screens and white screens have that issue because they don't have a dark enough screen to pick up a higher resolution. That means that in the day you'll have to spend money for a higher projector with a higher resolution to fix that problem. And still you will not pick up a shade of black, you'll pick up darker shades of gray. That's what you have to go through. And if you have a gunmetal screen, which is a darker screen, that means you don't really have to spend that much money for higher contrast because the screen already has majority of that equipped with it. Where a gray screen is going to require more expensive high contrast setups due to the fact that it doesn't have the capability to begin with. White screen has even worse. That's the reason why you spend so much money for your projectors. You got to get 4K high resolution because your screen, again, it's not dark enough to pick up better detail, better depth. So you have to buy a projector with a higher resolution. This is why 720p are absolutely insane on our screens, because our screens are 100% black. So you'll spend money there. You won't be going VGA. That's not going to work out too well with you because that's basically going to downgrade your resolution count. So basically you're going to have to do HDMI only. And that's going to cost you more money too. It's cheaper when you have a projector that doesn't have HDMI. It's much cheaper. And the adapter doesn't work for y'all. We've done the test. You still get a badly pixelated screen. If we're doing 600 by 800 res, which is very low resolution SVGA, we could drop it at 18 feet back, hit the screen, and still pick up a well detailed image. And also, too, keep in mind, we cancel out the screen door effect. For those who know the screen door effect, this is what happens when basically your pixels expand. You don't have a high enough pixel count, and you get this kind of screen door effect that pops up on your screen. More on black screens and darker screens can camouflage as much faster. Black screens can almost eliminate it to almost around 99%. Gunmetal screens have a high chance, depending on how dark the gunmetal is. A gray screen would pick it up with no problem, and a white screen would definitely see it. So you don't cancel that out. Rainbow effect. Rainbow effect was caused by the DLP projectors. Darker screens don't have that capability. Lighter screens will trigger it. I know, I've seen one of those things before. It is quite sickening. Turns your whole stomach inside out. Feel like your head, feel like your whole entire body was turned inside out. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. It's like a unicorn literally walked in front of you and just blinded you with a rainbow. But I had that experience. Don't want to ever do that one ever again. One of the other problems you'll have with the gray and white screens, if you're doing a 235.1 for a screen that's not designed for 235.1, you will get something called you'll get these gray bars that will pop up because the screen can't produce the black cinema bars. That means you have to go over to silver ticket and you have to buy curtains. Yeah, curtains. You'll have to put curtains at the top and curtains at the bottom to give you that black bar experience, for the 235.1 setup. You're going to have borders when you deal with gray and white screens. It can't be borderless due to the fact that screens will bleed over. They have to have something to trim it off. Black screens don't have borders, or dark gunmetals don't require them due to the fact that they're complete borderless screens. So that's why I said there's a lot of things you can't do with those screens. Now you see the color change out here? This is one of the tests you have to go through. Can't do it on the same projector over and over again. You can't constantly do it on short though. We call those your handicap projector. A projector that you're constantly using over and over again, it becomes your handicap. Because then you realize it's the only projector that's going to make your product look good, so you're going to constantly use it. It's like the woman in her favorite pair of shoes, as I said. She can have dozens and dozens of shoes, but there'll always be that one pair of shoes that makes her feel like on top of the world. Whatever they do for her, they make her feel taller, they make her feel this, they make her feel that. She's going to go to those shoes regardless. But that's how you guys do your projectors. You stick to that one projector. And keep in mind, if you're using a projector in a demonstration that costs a considerable amount of money, and the reason why it costs a considerable amount of money because it has perks attached to that projector that other projectors don't have, then that means at the end of the day, it's considered to be deceiving your customers due to the fact that they use a projector that's actually lower than that machine. They're not going to get the same results that you're going to have at the end of the day. Can you prove and back that up? That's why we do demonstrations on 1,000 lumen Sony projector versus a 5,000 lumen Christie side by side. You have to do that. What is the difference between your product and 4K and 720p projectors? If you're telling your customers at the end of the day that they don't require your screen to pull up an amazing image so well that 4K is not required, you have to be able to back that up. You can't just say it. It has to be backed up. I'll show you a little something here. So this, in my archives, we'll go into the archives. We have to go through there because we will never find it in there. We have demonstrations or a demo page or a test demo page. No, we're not in the test demo page. Let's see. It should be in demo page right here. You should have one of these. By the way, this is your demo page. This is all your testing, your test pages and demo pages. This has everything and anything you could possibly name. Dozens of picture demonstrations. You should have this. If you don't have one of these on your page, then something you don't buy. This right here shows a demonstration of a 5,000 lumen projector 720p versus a 1080p projector. We also have a 1,000 lumen demonstration versus 720p. Right there, all these demonstrations. And as I said before, for those of you who have made claim that, oh, the demonstrations are fake, then do me a favor. We got something called Match or Better. Match and Better any of my demonstrations live. And you don't do it, then guess what? Your claim has been dismissed. Demonstrations on ambient light rejection technology. This is something you're going to have to show. Those of you who have a habit of opening up windows that have no real window light making contact with the screen because your screen is too far away from the windows. Sorry about that. Please stop doing that. It's embarrassing. It's funny, but it's embarrassing. Open up a door and windows. The screen's nowhere near in the environment. You see that screen? That's a 126-inch Elite screen that's sitting right next to a window. Matter of fact, it's wrapped around in windows. My projector is sitting 18 feet. No ultra short throw, no cheating on distance throw. It's 18 feet from the screen. 3D technology, you're not in this category at all, period. Ceiling technology, you're not in this category at all. Floor technology, you're not in that category at all. Ultra short throw projector, $60 ultra short throw projector setup. This shows people at the end of the day, I bump this all the time, who have those high-end knockoff projectors. And two reasons why I say buy it. One reason is because they feel they can get a 150-inch screen. That ain't happening. And they also feel that they're getting 4K. That ain't happening. You're not getting any of that at all whatsoever. So no, you can't do a 150-inch screen on a projector that's compressing. Where would you get the extra pixels from? If the max is 150, where would you get the extra pixels to compress to sharpen the image? Yeah, that's not going to happen. We did this for $60. This is a $60 projection setup. Oops, sorry about that. I got to shrink you guys a little bit more. There we go. That's a $60 projector. That's the one we're going to be using for the floor demonstration here. And as you can see those LED lights over top? See how they don't illuminate? Because it's all being canceled out because there's that much light in the environment. That test technology is tested. There we go. Okay, let me see. Make sure we got this pause going here in the background. Glass Adtech Technologies is not in your categories. Move on. You're not in this right here at all, period. 1,000 lumen demonstrations. These are 1,000 lumen demonstrations. We really have a page linked to 1,000 projector demonstrations. And you go to my YouTube channel and you look up that particular projector, you'll see tons of demonstrations inside and outside. This is a very important test you have to be able to run. Let me see, 235.1. This is not your category. Ambient projection technology, definitely not your category. This is not for y'all, so there's no point in us going in here. I'm talking about not for y'all as the consumer. I'm talking about those people who call themselves making these products that are supposed to be working, but they don't. Outside demonstrations, yeah, I don't see any outside demonstrations. 1 or 2, that's not enough. You have to do it at multiple setups, multiple different versions of projectors, and multiple screen size. The bigger, the better. The reason why they're going to trust my company, even in a donation, to set up this giant screen. Well, I put this giant screen down here, and it doesn't work. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. There's going to be a problem there, isn't there? It's going to be a huge problem if that screen doesn't work. And they're going to ask, well, what experience do you have of a screen that caliber? There you go. You can watch me paint the screen in, test our products, black versus black demonstration. So it's not going to match any black paints. Yeah, we got that already. Floor demonstrations, ceiling demonstrations, yeah. Table, turn the table into a projection screen. I just thought about something. Are we doing a projection screen table here, aren't we? Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be brilliant nice. I can make this a part of my mega table. So my mega table, I can hook up another projector, sorry, for a stand, where I can actually look up YouTube tutorial videos on one side through my table, why I work on my table. That'd be sick. Oh, yeah, we're definitely designing that. We're definitely putting that together. Oh, we're definitely putting that together. All right, let me see. This is table technology. Let me see. This is the massive grid, which has tons of demonstrations. Let me see. Oh, great screen paints, why they don't work. Yeah, we've done dozens of those. Some of those products are from people we purchased from. White level demonstrations, which you guys haven't done enough of. Paint on demonstrations, fast and easy. Not taking 9 years just to paint a screen. Motorized projection screen demonstrations. I don't see you guys doing these demonstrations out with the motorized. There's not enough of them. Ultra short throw, certified screens, white screens. More test demonstrations on that. What's this? Customer. Oh, we did a live demonstration when a customer went to their home and did a live demonstration. Right there. 1,000 lumen demonstrations again. Oh, I forgot we got to add more into that. I could do some updates on here too. Here we go. Found it. Yeah, sorry, it took a while, but we have a lot of demonstrations to go through. So this is one of the demonstrations you're going to need. Very important. What is the difference between your product in 4K, 720p, and 1080p? Mind you, when you do this demonstration, you're not going to just show color. You have to show the contrast. You have to show everything. What is the difference? You don't have these demonstrations. So I can go to customer and say, hey, look, you don't need 720p. Our technology makes 720p look 4K. Now, for those who sit and say it's not true, demonstrations are right there. I had a PX747 4K projector by ViewSonic. I bought it when it first came out on the market. Which video we want to go to? Let's go pop over this one. This is the setup right there. So this saves our customers not hundreds, but thousands of dollars. Number one, we can take out $4,000, $5,000 certified screens. So instead of my customers going and spending $5,000 for a certified screen, they buy from us because we can actually show that we can actually outperform the screen. Instead of my customers going out and spending $3,000, $4,000 for a projector, they can go to eBay and buy a projector under $200. Because the projector we have one here, one's 720p, one's 4K. We had some fun in the rooms with this thing. Okay, figure out which one's which. Can't figure out which one's which. And you know why the 720p looks so incredible? Because the screen is black. It pulls up 100% contrast. And with contrast comes detail and depth, which a gray screen and white screen can't read. We did this demonstration at 1080p versus 720p, 1080p versus 4K. We did a demonstration at 1,000 lumens versus 5,000 lumens versus 1,000 lumens. Sony 1,000 lumen projector versus a 1080p versus 720p. 1920 by 1200 versus 600 by 800 res SVGA. So WXGA at 1920 by 1200 versus SVGA at 600 by 800 res. Can't tell the difference. That means our technology can use at a basic minimum of a 720p projector and make the screen look outstanding. You know how cheap a 720p projector is? It's the reason why we have so many projectors, because we didn't pay anything for them. You're talking about basic, you don't even need an HDMI port. Not required, because we don't even use them over here on our technologies. So no HDMI port, price drops. 720p, price drops. 600 by 800 res, oh, it definitely drops by a lot. So you're looking at somewhere roughly about a projector that's probably going to cost you about under $100. That's it. And you got somebody set up there with a 4K machine, and they can't do what our screen can do at the end of the day. They can't see contrast, they don't register color, no ambient light environments, they fade and wash out, and they spent all that money for that setup, and they can't do it. Right, that's why I said, waste of money. Go over here. Let's grab this one over here. Demonstration again. Different environment, more light. When I first saw this demonstration, I sold my 4K. That's why I don't buy 4Ks anymore. Why would I buy one? Well, I'm wasting my money. If I want to upgrade my screen, I'll go buy a 1080p. That's what I buy. When I sat there and spent $1,400 for this 4K projector, and we had $150. Same projector, they're both ViewSonics. And I'm like, shoot. Well, I had to buy it anyway because I needed to show the demonstration because we had to back it. But what the freak, I'm done. And I sold it on eBay. 2 days later, I sold it on eBay, and I went out and got myself a ViewSonic 1920 by 1200 4,000 lumen projector. That's what I purchased. I picked up 1080p. Stuck it on the back. I was good. That's all I needed. I wanted to upgrade. We do the angle, we turn to the side, show you it shows no difference whatsoever. This is why you notice in our demonstrations, when I had my other place, all the projectors we had in this setup were 720p. The whole house was running 720p from the ceilings to the floors. Everything was running 720p. It's not required. You don't have to have all that. You have to have a 4K projector because, again, you're going to pick up higher resolution. That's what people say, oh, it's a higher resolution projector. Your screen's black. It's not required. Spending money for something you're just not going to use. That's the same theory when people go out and they buy projectors. So right here, that's the 720p right there. Right there, 720p unit right there. And then we go pop over here. And that's the 4K right there. Can't tell one from the other. But it's like people go out and they spend all this money for a projector with high contrast. I've been on JVC forums all the time. The contrast is such insane. The stuff they got over there would make a P2 look like a doorstop. Allah do not. So we're over there playing around with them, talking about them. And they buy these projectors with these incredible freaking contrast and insane capabilities. And they're on these white and gray screens. So they figure that with the white and gray screens that they had, the projector's doing all the work. But they don't realize that they're not seeing a contrast level. They're just seeing a really good shade of dark gray. That's what they're picking up. There's no projector on the face of the planet that has the capability to turn a white screen into a black screen. That is physically impossible. But it tricks you to make you think you're seeing that, like the whole 4K scenario, where basically you compress enough pixels tight enough and compress them, you think you're seeing 4K, but you're not really seeing 4K. It just tricks you to make you think you're seeing it, so you didn't get what you really paid for. So consider the fact when we go over and have these conversations with them. Come here for a minute, buddy. Here you go. Come here. Come on. Trying to do something himself. You can't do it. So you're not really getting that. Another JVC is not a cheap machine. These are $50,000-$60,000 units. Are very, very expensive. Some are $100,000. It's a very expensive machine to pay that much money to think that you're going to get contrast and you can't even see it. So we go pop over there. We show a demonstration on a projector of a 3,000 to 1 contrast level, and we can pick up a level that they can't see. The first thing we do to the JVC, turn your lights on. Because if you turn your lights on and you're trying to show a star field, I don't care how kind of powerful machine you got in the day, your screen's not going to be able to absorb that light because it's not designed to. White and gray screens can't absorb light. So the screens wash out. You know how embarrassing that is when you have a $60,000 JVC and you can't pull a star field in a fully lit environment because your screen washed out on you? Yeah, it's like the video on the promo where you watch with the 7,000 lumen projector, they couldn't get the screen to pull. So it's a wake-up call. You spent all that money. Now, for those of you who spent money, not as much as these guys did, but you spent money for a projector with maybe $500,000 or $2 million to 1 contrast. You get it because you got a white screen, you want to pull better contrast, but you can't see the star field with the lights on, which means you're not really picking up contrast. You go get yourself a darker screen, maybe a gray screen paint product, and your contrast improves a little bit, but still you can't have the lights on. It doesn't work. You're still going to be stuck in the dark because your screen will wash out. And then you get the gunmetal, and you have a lot of money for a screen. Everything improves much, much better, but still you can't see 100% black because that's why you paid for the contrast to begin with, to read 100% black. But then when you reach our technology, guess what happens? You turn that option off. You don't need it. Why would you run an option that is not even required? Which means you just paid for something that you never needed to begin with. There you go. Waste a lot of money, just like the 4K display right here. You don't need 4Ks. 4K was designed to give you higher resolution. What's the point of having higher resolution if the screen's already black? So, with that being said, is a 4K projector required? No, it's not needed. It's only needed and required for screens that basically don't have the capability of producing what black screens can produce. Do you have to spend $2 million to 1 for contrast? No, you don't need it. You have a black screen. Any projector you have is over $2 million to 1 because the screen is infinity black. Even with the lights up, it doesn't change. Yeah, these are when we have these. When we show, I gotta pop this over to the other guy. I gotta send this over to him because he bought a 4K projector and he was asking me about that. I was like, no, we don't use them. Why we don't use 4K projectors, and that's the reason why we don't touch them. There's my 235.1 screen right there. I was gonna do a 235.1 in here, but then I realized I haven't had a whatchamacallit screen. I want a vertical portrait screen here, so I'm doing that. Vertical portrait of table display. All lights are on, no dark environment, screen doesn't wash out, can show contrast right off my table. This is what you're supposed to see in demonstrations. No hidden, no dark environments. You can't use your projector. This time of the day, your screen's outdated. There's my NEC Ultra Short Throw. Got my fire sticks right there because I line them up to figure out which one's which. I have using fire sticks left and right. That's the acoustic screen. See how my overhead lights are on, nice and bright. This is how your screen, that's this ambient light rejection. This is why it bugs me when I hear somebody say, oh, I'm in an extreme lit environment. No, the freak you ain't. You don't even know what extreme lit environment is if it would smack you on the face. That's an extreme lit environment. 2 sets of windows right next to my screen, overhead chandeliers on, and the environment is bright. See the LED lights around the screen? They can't even push off. I got LED lights wrapped around the ceiling. They can't push off because the environment's generating that much light. That's not extreme. People really got to stop saying that crap. You want extreme, put 180 to your ceiling and show me a star fill. Show me extreme. That's not extreme. Come on, man. These fake demonstrations. This is my ultra short though right here. And look at the distance from the screen. Look at this. All the lights are on. And I get that when people say, well, I'm an extreme environment. No, you're not. If I stick you in an extreme environment, you won't even show. Matter of fact, we have done that too many times to count. There, NEC. That's my $60 machine before I get to stand on it. That's extreme. This is why you have to have testing. You have to have testing. You got to have batch numbers. You have to have this. Now, for those people sat there and said, oh, but that's not real. That's fake. Yeah, Mr. Bird walked around an entire building with a $178 ultra short though under his arm and produced in every environment in the building. Yeah. And soon, over in Allentown, we'll have 250-inch screens on display. If it produces, as is claimed that some people say it does, then the screen won't show. Wouldn't it be harder for a screen like that to be to produce at the massive size that it is, consider the fact that it's going to be outside and all that elements of light? Are you kidding me? Come on. Yeah. Look at this. And as you're going to walk in, see that light in my kitchen? See how bright my kitchen is? There's no windows, there's windows, I'm sorry, there's no blinds blocking any of the light pushing through. No bookcases, none of that nonsense in the day. That area is so bright, I don't even got to open the door, which would be pointless because the light from the door wouldn't be going anywhere unless we have a screen physically in the door. So you can see how much light's generated in this environment. And I can walk over, and if I want, I can watch cartoons and eat it off my table. This is why stuff has to be tested. This is why. This is what you want. What you see in the video is what you want to make sure it's going to work when you get it home. And that's why the batch number is extremely important. This is why testing is extremely important. If you're not seeing, they're talking about they got ambient light rejection technology and they're not doing this kind of stuff in their demonstrations. No, go someplace and you come to us. There's another one right here. This is my Optima GT 5600 projector. Now, for that projector, they said when I bought it, they said, well, the only screen size you can get out is 100 inches. You don't know us at the end of the day. No, that's a 126-inch screen. Yeah. So our black technology will allow you to be able to expand your screen size. Did you know that? Instead of you going out and people going and buying these projectors because you want 150-inch up and ultra short, though, our technology can do it at a $60 machine. That's the same projector we had outside at 140 inches outside. Now, see my environment? See how well that it is? Not sitting in the dark? This is before we put the screen in the window. There's no bookcases, none of that nonsense, no dark shades in my windows. That's why you hear me in videos saying, stop doing that. Stop pointing at windows. I see windows that got plants and all kinds of stuff blocking the windows, shades halfway down, blocking the top half of the light pushing through, and bookcases with shades down halfway, blocking the light, just squeezing the light. There's this little section that's covered by objects that are basically blocking and interfering with the light. This is how you do it. Now, to a message to an individual, I'm not going to say your name because I can't say your name because of an investigation, but do you see my windows? Do you see all the light we have in here? This is where we stuck a 126-inch screen with the overhead chandeliers on. That's how much light that area produces. More black on black tests. These are more black on black tests. We got black on black tests everywhere in every shopping cart. You should be able to hit a link, see a black on black test, see 1,000 lumen. If they say it works at that particular lumen, ours will generate 1,000. If they say 2,000, then you should see demonstrations at 2,000 fully lit environments, at least about a good 15 to 16 feet back from the screen. You should see spray-on application demonstrations, certified demonstrations. Because again, if I'm a person with deep pockets and I could spend $20,000 for one of these high-end screens, convince me why I shouldn't. Show me why I shouldn't spend $5,000 or $20,000 for a screen. We could do that. That's why the certified screens consider us to be a threat at the end of the day. They sent us some dumb emails, I guess, trying to say that the company we have behind us is no one's contacting us at all, period. No one's going to come out and say, oh, we're suing you. No. How would they sue us? We didn't slander any of their products whatsoever. We did side-by-side demonstration. Our screen produced better color, better contrast. They did produce an amazing white level. I did like that. And the screen had no angle gain effect whatsoever, which I found that to be quite impressive. But other than that, no. We produced the highest contrast of any screen. Even the diamond can't even beat us. And I can clearly say that. And if they feel that we want to go on a demonstration side by side versus contrast, well, let's see you take on a 100% black screen. You can't. We got gunmetal technology, which I'm not going to say ahead of time, but that gunmetal technology, Imperial, is designed to take out all gunmetal screens. And we can take the black technology and take out an Imperial. So you can't beat a black screen. It's virtually impossible. The whole purpose of the fast and quick demonstration, show you how to paint a screen real quick. The whole purpose of the gunmetal is to produce better and ambient light environments, to be able to absorb light, to produce better contrast and better color, because contrast and color plays hand in hand. The reflective surface is designed so the screen can actually pick up a higher white level. But the main purpose of gunmetal screens is to produce insane amounts of contrast and also to the ability to be able to work better with ambient light rejection technology. How are you going to beat a screen that's physically 100% black? You can't. And if color plays a role in that, then guess what other problem you're going to have? You're not going to be able to pick up the same colors that screen can either. So yeah, that's why I said we got no problem. When that FLE technology is done and completed, I'm going to go send them over a free screen. And they can check out our screen at 100% complete. Mind you, that screen in the demonstration was only 60%. We're actually going to be increasing the contrast levels on that technology, which means that thing's going to look so dark when it's sitting on your wall, you're going to think it's a portal to a next world, to another world. So I can honestly say at the end of the day, not misleading anybody. Oh, that's my game chair that came in. I'm not misleading anybody when I sit there and I tell Diamond and I tell Screen Innovation, yeah, we pull the best and highest black level at any screen. The only screen technology that be the touches that you're physically black. Then you can match your contrast, but can you match your white levels? Yeah, there you go. My giant gaming chair. What chair was that? Anyway, can't remember what that was. So let's paint this screen and show how easy it is to paint a screen in. Now, some people will get misleading, by telling you how to paint a fixed frame screen and saying you take the bar out. Never take the bar out of a screen. You know how hard it is, that all that pressure is pushed down on that tension screen to begin with the springs or pegs or whatever you're using. And if you've removed the bar, yeah, it's going to be a really rough time getting that thing in there. So don't do that. Don't take the screen out after you paint it, because once you paint the screen, that elastic is gone. That pretty much, that's why you don't put it back in, because it's going to be a hard time trying to stretch it back in because you don't have the elastic pull anymore. Simple and plain, very easy. Pad the back of the bar. You're going to have a little bump in the front. It's going to basically easily just smooth out when you pull it out. We do tons of fixed frame screens all the time. When you're putting your frog tape in, make sure you tape your border. I don't care how much of a good painter you are, at the end of the day, tape your border, because you will make a mistake and bump and roll right over your border and you will damage it. And make sure when you're taping it that you take your hands and you tuck in the tape under the frame, because what's going to happen is some people don't tuck under the frame and you tape around it, and then you miss a spot, and then you got this whatever color the paint is, it's going to put a trace around the inside of your border, and you don't want that. So I'll show you how to get that done. Now, see right here in the back, this is where you pad the back of the bar. This keeps you from getting a bar imprint. This would mean you don't go through the hassle of going in and trying to remove the bar, because it's going to be a nightmare getting that thing back in there, because remember, it's going to have a lot of pull on it because of the little tension rods we have here, here, and here. So very easy to do. All right, now once that's completed and done, next stage you want to start to do is getting ready to paint your screen. Simple 9-inch nut roller. None of that dumb nonsense of pouring. What was that dumb nonsense he said? You got to pour paint around 2 to 3 inches. That's virtually impossible. Paint's going to expand when it comes out. Unless you're pouring mud. Other than that, if it's that loose, yeah, it's going to basically expand. Just pour it on the screen and be done with it. See? Just pour it down. Be done with it. This is where I ran out and I had to make more. So you grab your roller. That's basically about it. Now, if you have a screen that has a protective coating, some of these screens do have a protective coating. Silver Ticket has them. Some of the Elites may have them from time to time. When you paint your screen, I put down a little bit first. And if you start seeing separation, that is the protective coating on the other end. Don't force it. Don't use the whole can. Put a little bit down, put a light coating, let that dry, and then you go over the screen. I did that demonstration with 235.1s, they had it. I like to get my corners, as you can see, because once I get my corners very nicely, then I can go back in and I can just go dot, 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 and I'm done. And if you're trying to get the corners, take your roller and just angle it just a little bit. You can get into those cracks and corners. Very easy to do. You've been eating my marshmallows, you little monster. No. Come here. Come here, fur boy.
Tiger Man. Tiger Man. Inside, inside there, Tiger Man. Inside.
There we go. Now I got that middle. This is where it's run out of paint. I had to go right down and make more. Yep. Trying to make more paint. There's some time in there before I come back, so let's see if we can squeeze it real quick. So when I come back upstairs, here I am back upstairs. If the camera's shaking, that's because Taco's attacking it. So all these demonstrations you can watch directly on our demo page on how to paint your screens in. We've done motorized screens. I've done so many motorized screens, it's not even funny. I did customized motorized screens. How come we're gonna have a motorized screen in here? It's one of the things I didn't think about buying for here. For a gaming setup, that'd be perfect because we can literally stick that thing anywhere, right up in the wall. We literally had the area to mount this thing into, so on top of that. Now I got myself thinking, I actually got a motor. I got a 150-inch tension motor screen. I can get one of them bad boys in here. Oh, man. With the UFO effect, I'm gonna be hot too on top of that. I think I might do a 150-inch motorized. I haven't had a motorized screen in a while. I think I'm gonna get myself a motorized projection screen. I haven't had one in a while. We got the built for it. This area's designed for it. Put one in here. I might do a 150-inch motorized screen. That would be sick. Now, if I do 150 inches, it's gonna take my port away from me. I want my port over there. So let me see. See, decisions are sitting, just trying to figure out what we want to do. We can't have anything on the floor because the floor literally is gonna be a 150-inch screen to game off of. So I can't have nothing on the floor. But no projectors, nothing. Everything has to be to the ceiling. I got to contact him to on top of that. I got to get this light fixture out of here and see what we got to go with that. I already got a company to come in and remove it. That's it. Or pretty much you can just sign off on the landlord. But until then, I'm just talking to him because I'm good friends with this guy anyway. And he's been giving me some really cool advice. This will help me out with a lot of things I'm working on. Here we go. Hit that center piece right there. Let me just go back over it, smooth it out. See, I'm applying pressure. None of that light roll nonsense over the light roll to the screen. We're not doing that crap at the end of the day. You think I'm going to be sitting there all day long painting the screen in? I got things to do. Do not have time. So we put the angle on right there. Do not have time to be sitting there painting the screen in like 4 or 5. No, we don't have time for that. Let me see what this video is. Oh, it's a paint and dry. So in our demonstrations, we do paint and dries, which means bottom line is we basically paint the screen, hang it up, dry, do a video demonstration right from the door. Yeah, so right here, what they don't tell you is when you paint a screen in, your roller is not going to really hit in those corners. It's not. It's not going to hit in there. So what you got to do is you take a paintbrush or a sock. I use a sock, and you get into those corners all the way around, and then you take your roller, you slant it on a tilt, and you smooth it out. They didn't tell you that, did they? No, because they don't know what they're doing. If you're doing an edgeless is different because we've done edges. I got an edgeless right here, but over here. An edgeless is not required for that. An edge you can roll over top of it because there's no frame. But if you do have a screen with a frame, your roller is not going to hit those little corners in there. Now, I had the Elite Screen edgeless in 26 and 106. They're easy because, again, no frame. You're done. That's it. But if you have a screen that has a border attached to it, you have to make sure you get in those little corners because what's going to happen is when your screen dries, you're going to have this white little trace and you don't want that. So you have to get in those corners. Then you take your roller and you put it on a slant to smooth it out. Now see, I'm showing you on the roller. This is how you slant the roller just a little bit. See? Easy. Bring my screen up. Mind you, in the door. Not have the door open and have the screen sitting way over here and go, a door is open. No, you have to physically have it in the door. When you do a door demonstration. Got the fan on with the screen dry right in front of you. We'll move up a little here where the screen's already dried. That's why I get tired of people open up doors and go, look, door light's not making it to the screen. You see where my screen's way over here? There is no way in the world a light from this door is going to travel all the way across here and hit that. No, it's not going to make it over there. That's why we never open up doors when we're doing screens in the room because there's no physical way the door light is ever going to touch the screen. Screen on this side over here, that's not going to turn and go around. It's not going to hit that. We have to have a screen physically in the door in order for the door light to make contact with it. And then we have the overheads on. So that's a paint and dry. Fast, quick, over and done. No multi-coat application, no complicated instructions. Start the roller from the top, go to the back and the oh, no, we ain't got time for that crap. Paint the screen and be done with it. We're in there with our projector. I think it's around, we might be using the Chrissy 1080p projector in the demonstration. See how amazing the white levels pop? That product sitting over there has a batch number sitting on it. That product over there is tested before it was sold. That's the reason why this is how you want your products to work. And for any naysayer out there at the end of the day wants to sit there and say, well, the product is fake, then you match them better in my demonstrations. If not, then you just be quiet. But this is what you should be doing. It shouldn't take that long to paint the screen in. There's no way in the world. That's why you saw me in the video demonstration going, oh God, like really? We're painting over it again? We already did that already. Once you pass over it, you're done. Unless you're using something cheap and weak and you have to paint over it over and over again. You know how that works when you're doing you're painting a house or painting a room. If you buy cheap paint, then you're going to have to paint over that surface again because the previous surface is going to bleed through. It's not going to cover right. So you're going to have to paint that again. But if you buy a good product, you only got to paint it one time. That's it and you're done. So this is where we turn a bed sheet. I was sitting there watching TV. I was laying on a bed sheet. I'm thinking, why can't we just turn this into a projection screen? This would be pretty cool. This saves because at the time everybody was going out getting Carls. They're using Carls and they were painting it over with our stuff. And Carls is not exactly cheap. So I figured it'd be a cool idea. See what would happen if we could paint a bed sheet. Now, mind you, when we did this right before, it turned out quite well. But as I said before, if you're ever painting any kind of fabric, and one of the things I learned when I was painting the bigger screens is you want to make sure you prime the surface first. This causes the screen from absorbing in paint. You don't want it to absorb in paint. So what happens is when you paint a screen in, all right, put it this way. When you paint a screen in, some areas are going to absorb in more, some are going to absorb in less. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have to put it on really, really heavy in order to be able to get it to take. But you don't want to go through all that. You don't want to waste a ton of paint in the process doing this. So what you want to do is you buy any kind of cheap paint. Doesn't make a difference what it is, as long as you get it to absorb. You put your first one on, let it dry. This is only for fabric. You put your second one on, let it dry. Now the screen can't absorb in any more paint. Then you apply our application and you're done. Now you see right here, multiple times I have to keep going back over and over and over again because the screen is absorbing too much of the paint. Now, if you're doing this on a screen that has a very thin texture to it, this is going to be an issue because it's going to absorb even faster. And again, with thinner products on top of that, any imperfections you may have are not going to get masked. Now, I shouldn't have had to drop that much paint, but the reason why, because again, I didn't do the 2 coats on it. We're doing a fast demonstration, just showing you how easy you can turn a everyday bed sheet. So your bed sheet you're laying on right now, yeah, you can turn that into a projection screen using our technology. Now this stuff right here has a shifting technology, which means it allows the screen to be able to shift to darker contrast levels. Some people thought we're using chameleon paint. Now, if you ever seen chameleon paint, you see how it works. On chameleon paint, if you stand in front of the car or whatever it's painted on, and if you turn to the side, it changes. Every time you turn to a different angle, it changes. That doesn't change. Now, for those who've been asking us, what can you paint it on? Oh, please go to the specification sheet. This is why we did all this testing. You know, we did a blanket one time. A blanket. I got bored and painted over a blanket. Styrofoam. Yeah. Now, again, and the other person, she laughed about the styrofoam. Again, this is where you have to crack books for this individual. It's not styrofoam, like the kind you get for packaging, because that has the nooks and crannies like an English muffin. You don't want to paint over that, so you get insulation styrofoam, which is much smoother. It comes in seafoam green and it comes in purple. That's what we used. I should have never had to use that much paint, but again, because the screen's absorbing, that's why. That's why we advise you that when you're doing fabric, make sure you put two applications of everyday paint. Now, the screens are going to be showing off pretty soon in Allentown, the massive 250s. Those screens right there are going to be pre-coated. We're pre-coating those. That's a pre-coated technology. We're going to be adding on to that. So that way, when we have those already in our shopping cart, you can actually just buy the screen and set it up. There's no painting requirement. We're going to be doing it ourselves. All right, there we go. So all painted and done. Our corners real nicely. And this one we're using an Epson. That's our Epson projector right there for the demonstration. And there's the screen right here. Bed sheets. See how dark the screen looks? It was light when you looked at it, right? You switch over, it's dark. Yeah, that's a shifting technology. We get that from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He's the one that blesses us to have that technology. Bed sheet and a projector. I think the Epson I paid $220 for. That's it. You have to think outside the box, people, when it comes to our products. You're not stuck. You're not stuck where you have to, no choice. You can't, basically, you're stuck here. You can't paint it on this. You can't paint it on that. No, our product allows you to turn anything you want into a high performance screen. Mind you, because of our test, we can show you that we can overpower certified screens, which means you have a technology sitting in that container right now. Those who have our technology right now, you have a technology that is far more advanced than a $5,000 screen. You literally have the ability to paint on a screen that's beyond gunmetal technology. They can be used in fully lit environments, ultra short though compatible. We tested our products on over 70 different forms of projector, actually 70 projectors and counting, because I plan to spend, I plan to get probably about 60 Pico projectors for our new sets, because we're starting these new screens for the tiny homes. So I'm definitely going to be doing something with that with the group. But anyway, like I said, that's the technology you have at hand. And this is why big companies have noticed it, seen this technology and what it does, and they want us to jump our price. Because they know that they sign in with us, we're going to have to jump the price, because again, they got to pay for that overhead, which means that price got to come from somewhere, and that's not the route we're trying to go. We're trying to keep it where we have control over everything. Look at that. Bed sheet. $7 bed sheet. Now, for the naysayers of the day, their campaign against us is to make us look bad, to make us look like our products don't work. Because if they can get out of the way and destroy us, then that means they can continue ripping you off. We're a problem for them. We're a stumbling block for them. They don't like us because, again, we require and ask you at the end of the day, this is what you need to do as a consumer, even from us too. Make sure we're tested. Make sure everybody's tested. Make sure you can show a gray versus gray or a black versus black, so you're not buying house paint that's overpriced. Make sure you got a batch number guarantee on it so it shows it's tested. Make sure the product is tested before it was sold. They don't want me to say this to you because, again, this is going to disrupt what they're doing. If their products were tested, they would have had a batch number a long time ago. They would have had tests a long time ago. They don't. They're just riding the gravy train and just ripping off as many people as they can. Look at that. Gorgeous. A bed sheet. Yep. So, instead of going over to Carl's. Carl's makes nice blackout cloth. I do enjoy their blackout cloth, but $7. So when that's why when I walk around the Home Depot or different stores and I look at different materials and stuff like projection screen, projection screen, projection screen. Yep. Got bored one day and said, let's make a blanket. Blanket projection screen. This would be me right there. How's everybody doing out there? First of all, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Crystal Age Technology Screen, giving you smart technology gain. That's the blanket. This demonstration that you can pretty much coat anything you want or paint anything you want and turn just about anything you want into a projection screen. Now, you've seen our technology when it comes to the TI-4070 screens thrive in light. I've done demonstrations in fully lit environments, even with the windows open. I've done demonstrations against the Dark Star 9, Elite screens, actually the Great Cinema 5D. Yep, had all of them. So, if you look at this, get this out of the way first. You see this? That's a blanket. That's the blanket you get from U-Haul. You know, blankets that you buy for padding your furniture so you don't jack it up. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a blanket. Painted over a blanket. This right here is a piece of plastic. I even actually turned a trash bag into a projection screen. Kind of plastic, such like that, into a high-performance screen. Not a plastic. Yes, I use plastic as a form of blackout cloth to make my screen. Now keep in mind the screen is still wet, it's still drying. And these are the rubber tiles that they have in restaurants to keep it from slipping.
Gotta move it here.
You see how the invisible screen paint, the coating that we're using on the plastic, look how fantastic it looks. If I were to pull it out a little tighter, now keep in mind the plastic screen is still wet, so it's still drying, where the blanket screen is already dry. Now, if I'm gonna do plastic, that looks fantastic. Oh, I forgot to tell them how to do it that way. That's actually much cheaper, to tell you the truth. Let's see. Let's grab this one right here real quick. Much cheaper than plexiglass. Plexiglass was really expensive in COVID because they were using for sneeze guards and it's very expensive. But much cheaper than plexiglass is the tabletop projections. Not tabletop protectors. We use those and turn those into screens. Those things are absolutely fantastic. It has a kind of a nice stretch to it. It fits to a surface and turns it to like almost like a window. It's fantastic. They're fantastic for using instead of using plexiglass. It's much cheaper. Do a lights up demonstration. Like I said, keep in mind that's a blanket. We got blanket on this side, and we have drop cloth, plastic. Yeah. Okay, so you want sections that was in the blanket? Look at the screen. Now, you know, just like you watch this demonstration, because who else watches our demonstrations? Big corporations watch our demonstrations. And every once in a while, they'll shoot me an email and say, hey, look, we can make millions of dollars off your product. All you got to do is sell it for more. And that means that technology will be out of reach. Right there. Go back. My switch is back on. And we don't want to do it that way because I want to make it so everybody can afford it. Yeah, got my switches back on. So that's how easy it is to pretty much, like I said, look how fantastic it looks. That is a blanket screen. A screen that's literally made from a blanket. That's it right there. Let me, sorry, coughing. Let me grab a United States shipping box right there. Styrofoam projection screen. That'll be us. Okay, how we doing out there? First thing first, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Illumina's 4K screen paint using... You know how many demonstrations you literally have to do to just mention it in Google and you pop up first video? Yeah, I told you our stuff is tested. And I'm going to tell you everything. That projection screen is made of, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to blow your mind. Now, styrofoam. This is the new gamer screen paint that we've developed. And also to keep in mind that all our screen paints have the same capability of actually coating on any surface you want. The difference between the gamer paint is basically just has more of a higher boost in color. You know why I like the styrofoam? Easy to hang. Duct tape. That other thing was laying on the wall, but duct tape. It was fantastic. And get me another one. And actually, when you think about it, I'm going to tell you something. That's 3 screens. Actually, 4 screens, 5 screens, all placed together like a panel system. It's not one whole piece. It's multiple pieces in there, including the screws we painted over everything. Man, if this thundercloud thing works, man, I'm gonna hook up some crazy screens with this stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm wiring some of that stuff into the PC. Look at my lights. Check out my lights. Don't ignore the lights. I said we specialize in ambient light projection technology. At one time, somebody was like, oh, you painted the ceiling black because you wanted to block light. I said, that's a projection screen. You know that, right? Turn that thing on and yeah, shut them down. Be careful about speaking on our videos. Please do. Do the research. The guy was trying to put us on blast and said we painted the ceiling black to reflect light. No, that's a physical screen. Now look at the screen very carefully. pause it right here, and I'm going to show you what it's made out of. The screen's actually made out of styrofoam. So it's kind of something called poly planks. Got them over at Home Depot for around $8 for around 6 of them. There's like a 6-piece set. They're like little strips, and I just lined them and screwed them in. Pretty much, it feels like styrofoam, but they call it poly panel. That's what it's called. And I come over to the screen a little closer so you can see it. Now, I would advise you to spray it in so you get all the little nooks and crannies, but I wrote mine on. But just to show you the screen, it's an actual styrofoam. And it does have a texture to it. See, there's a little texture to it right there.
We don't want to see it because the black technology
Right
camouflages
up
it.
on top of the screen. And like I said, it's individual lines right here and here. So it's about 6 of them all screwed onto the wall.
So
at one
if
time,
you're doing,
and it just looks fantastic.
if you're doing a
Hand stab.
styrofoam, if you're doing the planks, we do advise you paint the sides up and so they all blend together and you have that white trace in there. But you can get them now at 4x8 and just one big screen. You can buy them that way now. They make them that way. When I got it, they didn't make them that way. And now they make them like in a kind of a seafoam green or whatever is just easy to coat. But other than that, this thing was actually fun to work with. And if you notice, so you people who do these great pranks, you look at my environment. You see how much light we have in the environment? We're not sitting in the dark. I like showing this right here. Hold on. So this gives you ideas. This is what we want you to have off our products. Give you ideas. Try to figure out new ways how to design screens. You don't have to go out and spend money for a fixed frame screen. Build it yourself. Make it out of styrofoam. Bed sheets, blankets, cardboard boxes. You ever seen a screen door projection screen? We did one of those too for fun. No dark environments, no expensive projectors required, nothing. That was on an NEC.
Now, keep in mind,
NEC MP?
1150?
1150? Yeah, 720p projector.
They do make it in 4 feet by
8 feet.
4 feet by 8 feet. So if you want to do much larger panels, you can, included with our technology. Also, too, like I said, these are the smaller strips.
So if you're doing 4 feet by 8 feet, you want to do a bigger screen, this is much cheaper to do, easier to hang than going out and spending almost $400 or $500 for a fixed frame screen to do it. You can panel it in. It all blends together with no problem. You just sat me, mind you, for those just saying, well, no, you just watched me in a batch number rip a cardboard box up off a floor and staple it to a wall and use it as in a demonstration, and it blended. You got to think outside the box, people. When you got so many possibilities in your hand right now, you got to think outside the box of what you can do with this technology. And this is the reason why people like these individuals are threatened by our technology. They can't match any of our demonstrations. I can pull anything up from my archives. They can't do that because they haven't tested. None of this stuff is guaranteed. So you get what you paid for.
So these smaller strips, you get 6 of them in a pack for around $8.
You know, we request for black paint, we never get it. We buy their product to bring it down for testing, we get canceled orders, we get money put back in our account. What else? They can't back their stuff. We request batch number guarantees, they get mad about it. They got back their stuff up. So when I get customers that come up to me and they come up with these ideas and they go, hey, I got an idea about making a screen out of styrofoam. What do you think about that? Oh, you can do that. There's a demonstration right here showing you how to do it. Or I'm thinking about doing a bed sheet. What about a bed sheet? Have you guys done that? There you go. There's a bed sheet right there showing you how to do it. First time painting a fixed frame screen. I really don't know how to put this in together and paint it. Demonstration right there.
Put it back on. It's just too easy.
What about 235? Have you done 235 right there? I'm thinking about buying this particular certified screen. I don't know. How do you guys compare to that? There you go right there. What's the difference in your white level? White level demonstrations. Have you done it at 1,000 lumens? There it is right there. Have you done ultra short though? There it is right there. Have you done any demonstrations? There you go right there. We done it to death. Outside demonstrations, we have one of the biggest grids for outside displays. Every time I see one of these demonstrations, I start thinking like, I want one of these screens on a styrofoam. It was so much fun. Ah, man, I don't even have a room for it. I gotta expand. We gotta get something bigger now. Now we need something bigger because I want more screens. Well, we got the workshop we're working on, so I can put all my stuff over there. This is gonna be the gaming setup. Damn, I can get that from the city. We've donated enough screens. Maybe they can do us a favor and get us a gallery so we can display our stuff. That's a styrofoam screen. Styrofoam. 6 strips all pushed. It's going to come with a blackout surface. It's going to paint a screen size from 100-inch to 127-inch, 16:9, 16:10, and 235.1. If the projector has the capability, and it will come with free gaming LED lights, so LED lights. That Batman in Soul Calibur? I didn't get Batman in Soul Calibur. I actually own that game. I gotta go look into that now. Yep, styrofoam projection screen. I wonder if this will pull up by any chance. Let's see. Invisible window screen projection screen. Let's see. Yeah, we'd have to dig it up on our account. So this is a cool trick to do. Let's go over to our page and so we can bring it up. That's my VSM winner. So grab one of these. All right. This is the invisible technology. Some people were checking out this black technology with invisible borders here. We've done this before 3 years ago. Well, good people do copy us, but we're used to it anyway. This is all invisible technology we engineered. This is called the invisible screen. Watch this. Cool effect, isn't it? Okay, you can see the glass bottles on the other end. Watch this when I walk back past it. And we're going to be coating these with that FLE technology, that window glass. That thing will filter sunlight. Sunlight will pass right to that screen. It'll still generate. Can't wait to do one of those. Let's do quantum fusion mesh technology. Quantum fusion mesh projection screen. That'll be us. I told you, when you have over 10,000 video demonstrations, we can literally say anything and it'll come up. So question is, for those of you who call yourself having real screen paint products, where are you? Because I can go into Google and I can say something and it'll pop up. Our technology will pull. Because we've done it. We've done it to death. Look at this. This is right here. We took a mesh, micro mesh, and turned it into a hologram screen. Oh, shoot. Just thought about something. We got projector mapping capabilities. We need to make one of these. We got to make a prototype. We do. We can advance this one. We can actually do this one and advance with the technology we have now and hook it up with projector mapping. Oh, yes. Good, great. What I got product on here? I need a small one. I need a big one. I got something I want to do. So this right here is called the Quantum Light Fusion. It's a mesh screen.
Hey, how you guys doing out there? My name is Ken.
Wow, this is when I was in the first house I moved into, my first house.
Using smart technology gain. And today I am showing off the quantum light fusion chemical. You guys can see.
Micro mesh.
Look at the image. So the image is
For anybody else
basically
who's doing it, we were
screen
doing it. It's
that's
crazy.
projecting off the back of my kitchen. But I mean, there's so many different applications we can use this for. I'm going to show you how amazing this looks. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. All right, here we go. Look at this.
We're going to advance this. I'm definitely going to turn this into something.
Advertising this in your store. Hey, tell me does not look crazy. That looks literally.
Where's the fish tank version of this thing? We did a fish tank of this one too. There we go. Yeah, we definitely got to re-engineer this. With the technology we have now, we're way beyond this stuff right here. We definitely got to engineer something crazy with some micro mesh. We could turn it into a hologram screen. Now this is also too fantastic for those of you who like golf simulators. Yeah. We're definitely going to design a couple of golf simulators. But you have to have a special screen for golf simulators. Remember, the golf ball traveling over 100 miles an hour can't push you. You don't want to puncture through. I think we're going to design some golf simulators too while we're at it. Yeah, that would be us. Let's see. Sure, should have pulled up. Liquid projection screen. Let's see what we can dig right there. We can pull from there. Probably won't even understand it. Because they wouldn't understand the word liquid. They wouldn't really understand it. It's something they wouldn't get. We would have to show it. Sometimes they can't pick it up. They don't understand it. The term of a liquid screen, they can't understand it. This would be a liquid projection screen. It is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. That's a technology. I want to do any video. Let me get the one that's not so choppy. That's a live. This is the one that's not live. We did want to pre-record. Here we go. Okay, I thought I'd share something. So that right there is an actual liquid projection screen. That gives us the ability to be able to fill up a fish tank with that technology and push 3D images through a tank, which means we can put virtual fish into a tank. What do we do with it? It's on a back shelf right now. I haven't decided yet to get around to it, but I may or may not. I haven't decided. But actually, yeah, that allows us to do that. And keep in mind, for the naysayers at the end of the day, who every time we design something, they got to run up behind, oh, this is how it's made. We gave them a challenge to make it. They had 2 weeks to make it. They couldn't do it. They couldn't even figure out how it was done. There's a challenge sitting on top of that thing, requesting them to make the product, and they couldn't do it. Just like we requested them to make the Black Series edition, they couldn't do it. But anyway, that cuts down on bullcrap. But anyway, it's a liquid projection screen. This right here is a screen that's completely made out of liquid. It's a liquid projection screen. I may bring this back. There's a liquid right there. There is my projector sitting up there. My no high power projector. 200 lumen. 200 lumen projector. Portable projector. Onto the liquid screen. Now this is just something we're testing out to see how the screen is going to react. Yep, this is something that we're working on. A liquid. This is stuff we never got around to finishing. Too busy. All right, I'm back. This is Kenneth Bird from Crystal Edge Technology Screens.
Working a little bit more today on the
Crazy, isn't it?
the coffee. You gotta hear it.
This is when I make statements. I'm not bragging at the end of the day, people. When I make statements, when I say we are way outside the box, we are way beyond the wall.
We're working on.
Ooh, that's a fantastic way of putting it. We are way beyond the wall. Because we are. We do ceilings and floors. We're way beyond the wall.
Our Brookstone 200 lumen.
So what could we do with this technology? Well, people who basically have paid money, because I had this one restaurant, they were going to put in a koi fish for the pond. Do you have any idea how expensive koi fish are? They're not cheap. They can be very, very expensive, and the upkeep is very expensive too. But you can put one of these things into your koi fish, hit that with a projector, and then boom, you can actually put anything you want. You can have a shark in there if you want. If you have a tank in front of your, put a huge tank in front of your restaurant or in your restaurant, you can put in mermaids, you can put krakens, you can put anything you want in there, any kind of exotic, weird, beastly, whatever you want. You can inject that in there because, again, it's a projection. Projector mapping applications were fantastic in there. Absolutely fantastic. I actually did a couple of demonstrations where we actually had a screen coded and we actually dropped it into a fish tank and we projected a map right through the friggin' water and hit the screen and pulled up. So it allows you to think outside the box. The whole purpose of what we develop here, people, is we have people who do more than just paint it to a wall. We have people who incorporate our technology into all different sorts of projects, and they can't seem to piece to get the product to work because they're missing a key element, and that's where we come in. We allow them for their dreams to come true. Like if you want to turn your entire floor into an ocean, or say, hey, the floor is made of lava. Everybody loves that game at the end of the day. You can actually turn your floor into lava and use it with all the lights on without being trapped in the dark. And you can walk on the surface, which means that a company, sorry, we're talking about saying they couldn't figure out how to do it because first they thought they'd paint the floor, but then they'll scuff it and damage it. And they don't want to use $5,000 screens because you don't want to walk on those things. You could break and damage your screen. And then they saw us using everyday gym mats and turning these into projection screens. And that's what they liked about it, because you can walk on these all day long. I walked on mine all day long, back and forth. So now that basically allows them to be able to build their dream, because the one key area was missing. We're the key for everything. Got any kind of interesting project you're working on, not only can we show you how to build it and design it, but we can engineer the technology or customize the technology to make your dreams come true.
Formula. What would this be used for? Well, like I said, I have companies who have these massive fish tanks or restaurants.
And it's an OLED version of that we're working on that's black. It's a black liquid screen.
Especially if you just have a core reef, it's a lot of work to maintenance that. And this will allow them to be able to use this liquid form projection screen, fill up a giant tank, and they can either project using a projector, or they can use projector mapping, which I prefer projector mapping. It's a lot easier to be able to push images anywhere you want into that surface. And under the Project 77, there is no, there's no information on the product at all.
Project 77, which we spoke of at that time, is now considered to be Element 77. And Element 77, out of that technology came FLE, which is the technology designed to absorb and eat sunlight. So I don't sit on camera and talk trash and then they don't back my stuff up. If I sit there and say, hey, we're designing these elements and these elements have different things they can do, and I say one of them, but out of that one, we got the FLE technology and it absorbs sunlight, then that means Mr. Bird has to get on camera and he has to prove that the product can absorb sunlight. Because if not, I'm just talking trash. If I say we got a screen that basically is liquid and you can turn it into a projection screen, then I have to be to back it up. You can't just make stuff up as you go along, gentlemen. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. Let's see. Let's go over to window projection screen, direct sunlight. This would be us. We're the first one. We're the only ones who have the technology. No one in the world has technology that can eat sunlight. We're the only ones who got it. Search, look. We even challenge companies. Every time we get bumped into a company and the company goes, well, I can go ahead, knock yourself out, go fine. They always come back to us. This is it right here. First look of the technology.
Right. Doing a short real quick. First things first, my name's Kenneth.
If you look at the demonstration, you will clearly see that there's sunlight here in the front and there's sunlight behind the back of the screen.
My company is Black Series Edition LLC. We developed a window technology, spray-on application that can absorb sunlight.
Get you a little close from that one, people.
All right, doing a short real quick. First things first, my name is Kenneth Berg. My company is Black Series
Nothing
Edition
washes out. It
LLC.
picks up crystal
We
clear.
developed a window technology, spray-on application that can absorb sunlight.
That technology is also at tech is around 60% done. It's nowhere near completed. It's still in its beginning stages. Even though it has the ability to eat sunlight, we want it where it comes up crystal clear, even sharper than what we had it. We showed a demonstration. We can pull contrast level through a screen through sunlight. And this technology right here is going to be embedded into all our screens. Let me see right here. That's what I'm talking about. The I don't know what it is. The little bickerings and all that stuff. I had to deal with it, and unfortunately, I had to. It's part of business, but I don't want to deal with it in a way where I got to go the back and forth thing. We bring them to court. That's what we do. Bring them to court. We prosecute them. That's the best way to do things. Because I got big plans, gentlemen. Very big plans. We got screens we're going to be donating. Once we donate a 250-inch screen, do you have any idea what kind of revenue that's going to bring back to my company? Everyone's going to see that giant screen. You can't miss it. It's virtually impossible. And with it being black, and you're used to seeing white screens on display, that's going to change everything. Massive ripple effect. The technology under the TV technology. Once the main distributor we got is already locked in to start basically selling those screens for us, they're going to put that screen against an 8K projector. They're going to put it against a 4K projector. That technology has been displayed on 720p's and old 1080p projectors. They're going to put that product against high-end certified screens and realize that that technology has the ability to dominate any gunmetal screen that they have in their arsenal, which will make that the #1 screen. The demand for that screen is going to shoot through the roof. And it's a limited edition, which is going to make it even more valuable than what the screen is worth. Consider the fact, on top of that, that the black technology, the gunmetal screens, will actually worth a lot more than that. But I mean, as in what we're charging at $1,700 a pop. When we can actually get 10 grand for that screen easily. And I'm charging you $1,700. I can get 10 grand, and they can push it to get me 10 grand. They can push it to a clientele. That's why we're going with them, because they sell for big companies like Black Diamond, all these big major companies. They sell for them, and they're going to put that technology and find out that thing will level every screen in their what do you call it, in their inventory. They're going to contact us back, and I know we always get the call back. Why are you selling this for so cheap? Do you know how much money you could get for this thing at the end of the day? It's literally taking out all the other screens. We keep it at $1,700 because we want to make sure we have a fair price. I don't want to be the same price as the high-end screens. We're going to show them at the end of the day that we can make technology that we don't have to charge a lot of money for, and it's far more superior than theirs. So then what's going to happen? The big companies behind me like that are going to see that black technology, and they're going to realize that we can no longer say that we have the highest contrast level because we have it. So it's going to push them to develop a black screen, which we need them to do. So we can bring out an Omega, which is designed to wipe out all black technology. It will be the most superior screen you will ever see, and it'll be marketed at a price that even a person working at McDonald's can afford it. Not only will it give us the ability to be able to crush their hopes and dreams in one hit with no problem, because think about it. If you work years to develop an amazing screen and somebody comes along in an hour and knocks your technology clean out of the water, this is pretty bad. And for those of you saying, oh, but that's not, oh, we've done it already. We've done it with the certifieds. It took certifieds years to develop those screens. Years. They didn't develop those screens overnight. And we were able to knock it out in an hour. So when the black Omega comes up, then that's what it's designed to do. So it's designed to basically to show the big companies at the end of the day, no matter how hard you work and how much you do, you can't keep up with us. And the Omega is going to have 10 to 12 screens behind it, which means we'll raise the bar so high they couldn't even touch it if they dreamed about it. See, gentlemen, you're too busy over there bickering and complaining about basic technologies that we developed. We are on a much higher level. We have much bigger plans. And in the process, we have to, a few people are getting arrested, and a few people are going to be losing a lot their livelihood over bickering over our technology that you cannot compete with. Because you can't even require a batch number for your customers, and you're going to have those. They're very important. Batch numbers are important, and we're going to push that in all demonstrations for all customers to understand. You need to have a batch number on the product, and the product needs to be tested. So if I'm going to come out and talk about element 77, and I said one of the elements of 77 is the ability to be able to eat sunlight, then we can show you that. See right here? In 2020, this is the first signs of window technology that can eat sunlight. It was under a technology called smoke right there. This was in 2020, March. Now, if you come up, you'll see here, this is a new technology we developed. Same thing, it has the ability to eat sunlight, but it gives off a much more advanced image. This is in 2023. And companies research this all the time. You have to back that up. Very important. Oops, there you go. If you can't back it up, then guess what? You're considered to be fake. I'm gonna go back in here. I'm gonna look up our window technology. Now, some of you want to copy our names and say, hey, we got the same thing. Well, you have to back it up. Talk is cheap. There we go. Direct sunlight. So it means when we did this demonstration, we had to make sure we did the demonstration to come outside. You have any idea how much work there was? It was hot as a mother jumper out there. So I had to be up there at 9 o'clock. I had to come outside at 9 o'clock, put the projector up, set everything up, go outside in the baking sun and get cooked for a couple of hours, and I had to sit there and record. Come back in at around 10 o'clock. Come back at 11. Come on the hour, every hour I had to be out there to basically get everything recorded and documented. And the thing about it is that the naysayers that were sitting there saying, well, you know, we got them removed and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you went up there and you harassed this poor woman, another person who's very, very well connected. You harassed this poor woman, made death threats to her, all kinds of stuff. This old woman, and threatened her, this woman, to get her so scared to do business with us to remove us out of the building. That's what you did. That's one of the charges. They're going to file charges also, too. Yeah, we told them everything that's going on. I contacted her, explained everything that's going on, and how we found this individual and how they're going to be in charge. Yeah, that's what I told you. They're definitely going to get jail time. So this right here, there's a technology right there. But you know why that worked out perfectly? And I tell you why it worked out perfectly for us. Because if they had never made that phone call, if they had never threatened this woman the way they did, and she never got scared, and she allowed us to stay, we would have coded that technology to that glass. Not realizing that that technology had the ability to pull, not pull the sunlight, but for the technology, or the future technology we're developing, as in the gaming screens, the EcoFlow system, yeah, all that stuff. The Alpha Cinemax, the Imperial gunmetal, they're linked into that stuff. So you kind of did us a favor. Just like over here, where you called yourself calling the Allentown zoning. They know who you are too, and by the way, all your information was sent over to them, and they also are the ones basically who gave us all the information to take to the police station for the extra charges, because that'll come up in court also too. But that was also too a blessing for us, and I'll tell you why. Because if I spent the $500 for the drywall and I installed all that stuff in here, and they said, hey, look, you can't have, you have to have a permit for that, I would have to tear out all that drywall or get fined. So because we never installed the drywall, because I was too busy putting in the installation to get that ready, we can have the installation, not a problem. We just can't have the drywall. That's why I got a document over there called drywall permit that I just filled out. I already sent them over the $50 to get that started, and I'll be to put my drywall in. Yeah, and on top of that, I met some cool people over there that are going to help me out with future projects on things I need help with on different zonings that I need to actually start putting up these cube billboards we want to put in for an Allentown and different screens we want to set up and stuff like that. So they're going to help me out with all that. So you got me some cool friends at the end of the day, more help for the company, and on top of that, saved me $500.
Light into the glass, filtering.
Didn't work out the way you
screen,
thought you did it?
And the image is coming up crisp.
So that's the window
Crisp.
technology right there.
Actually better than the sun killer technology. All right, so as you can see right here, we have no shade whatsoever. There's
No
the screen
shade.
right there.
Bam, bam.
And there is the image picking up with no problem whatsoever. Well, bring it up a little bit closer.
So that right there is going to be the ad technology that's going to be plastered all over Allentown. No one ever seen rear projection technology into glass. All right, let's find something here. Let's do a little research here. Direct sunlight projection screens. First ones that pop up. That's a white screen. We know they ain't gonna do it. That's not gonna happen. That's inside. That's somebody just talking about talking. That's inside. Inside, 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 inside. This is us right here. All right, let's do it a little different way. Let's do direct sunlight window projection screens rear. Nighttime. Not direct sunlight, not direct sunlight, not direct sunlight. Let me see right here. Transparent screen. Bum, 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 bum. No direct sunlight. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I actually talked to this guy before. That's not going to work. It's a white screen. That's not going to pull. Let's see. Outside. No direct sunlight at all, period. Sun's on. Matter of fact, it's actually in the evening hours. You know how I know? Look at all the lights that are on. The lights don't generate when the sun's out. These don't cut on. So that's not direct sunlight. It's not in the morning hours. That means this screen has a time when it can actually display, which means the only way you'll be able to run this is when the sun goes down. That's basically about it. So it's not a direct sunlight, so that won't work. So that cancels that out. I mean, we could beat that comedy with no problem. Anybody else? Nope, that's at nighttime. This right here, direct sunlight. Let me see, we got projection screen. See what they got.
Black Friday deals on select products happening right now at Best Buy.
And the windows have been covered within the screen. Some light here on top of it.
That's not sunlight. Not the same thing. Light you have in your environment is not the same as direct sunlight. It's two different forms of light, so that's not going to work. That's not even a good comparison at all, period. And then the screen's too small on top of that, which means it's a concentrated image. If you're going to do a concentrated image on a small screen, you're going to have to stick it in direct sunlight. So, no, not going to work. Okay, we can take up that company. What else do we have here? Let's see what we got here. I actually researched this company also too. So if you notice, sunlight's on this side of the street over here. Look in the video, see where the sunlight's across the street? So we have all the shade over here. You have to use it in direct sunlight, which means that if a person's going to be doing advertising for the window and it's 9 o'clock in the morning and you know where the sun's going to hit at 9 o'clock in the morning, if you're on that side of the street, it's going to hit the side of your building. So your screen's going to have to be able to show an image.
Yeah, I see, sis.
Let's see what we got here.
Did you put it on your neck and face to keep it warm?
This guy. No, again, we know what this joker is. See you in court soon, buddy. Let me see what else we have here. This is what we have. That's the other guy's going to court. Actually, he's in part of the conspiracy list right now. We have a conspiracy list that's over at the FBI. People we got to dig up of interest that in part of the case. It's an open case now. And he became part, he made the list. He had enough videos, enough emails that came to us to make the list.
Lesser has the technology and experience to make it happen. Visit us online.
Oh, no, that did not just happen. You know what just happened a few minutes ago? The screen washed. One of the biggest problems I've seen in rear projection technology, this is going to be a bit, I got to come back on this one. We got to talk about window rear projection technology. It has to be discussed because people don't do this right. That thing just evaporated. It disappeared. No, we got to get one of these showrooms set up. Oh, I forgot about that. They told we got a stand coming up this summer, a vending stand coming up to show off our ad tech technology. This stuff eats sunlight. This is going to be amazing. Oh yeah, I cannot wait. They're going to set it up for us. They're going to set up everything we need to get us out there. I told you these donations. Oh shit, this is a long time ago. We get the donate screen to the community. On top of that, this is going to open up a lot of doors for us. But yeah, man, we got to talk about this. I don't want to run too far into this about the batch number guarantee. But that does have to be done. You know that batch number guarantee. We're going to update our website and we're going to put down guarantee batch number. But anyway, this we got to talk about. This is one of the problems that you have with rear projection. There's two things that pop up: lamp glare and the screen actually completely disappearing off an angle gain. That's why when you see me do the demonstration, I was walking around the screen, it has to pick up on that angle. If you're looking at a storefront window and you're walking down and you see it, it's going to disappear. You have to stand right in front of it in order to see it. That is not good. Man. These are all the companies that we list on our list of companies that we contact to give them samples of our technology once it's all certified and locked in to show them what they're dealing with. Oh man, I don't know which one to go through first. I mean, basically we're going to do the outside because we got the black technology for outside, which I can't wait to hit a couple companies with that technology. Oh my goodness. We can make it so they can cover their technology with our technology. Because how are they going to survive? They have to go through us. This is going to be beautiful. I cannot wait. I can't get my Dark Vader mask out of storage. Join the dark side. All right. I'm going to come back in. We got to talk about this. This is going to help people out. You're doing rear projection. Inside. It should have fired up inside. This is where inside. We should have never had this problem inside. Oh, that's bad. All right. We got to come back in and talk about this rear projection screen 101. Oh, my goodness.